Off and racing, 13 fences await the runners in this first division of the Tattersalls Derby Sale Maiden for 4yo Geldings. And as they quickly come upon this first fence, up there prominent is Finn Jim. Another one who is also to the fore on the outside is Ballylusk, your favourite in the light blue. That one is in about third or fourth position. And also prominent there is T Blue. So T Blue, upon settling down, leads in the hands of JJ Walsh from in second place. We've got Fink Jim. It Ain't Simple is another one that's prominent, and they in turn have been followed by Winnie the What down the inside in the green jacket in fourth place. Further out deep in the track is Ballylusk, who's in fifth. That is on the outside of VRB's All Round. So over number 3, and they've all managed to take the first 3 jumping tasks safely, and upon settling down we see T Blue in the stripes just in front. The grey horse there in second position is It Ain't Simple. And then Finn Jim is just ahead of Winnie the What. Tucked away in midfield, Barstool Boy is midfield in company with VRB's All Round. And then Ballylusk, amongst those held up early doors, are Busy Away. Also towards the rear, Sail Away Lad, Natural Energy and Johnny the Jazz. So the field are tightly packed, about a dozen top to tail as they now go to the fence that brings them into the back straight. They've covered about 5 or 6 furlongs, and as they move over this fence and away from it, It Ain't Simple just about landed in front from T Blue. These two settle down ahead of Finn Jim, and then we've got in the third share of third spot on the inside is Winnie the What. Further back in midfield then the likes of Barstool Boy. So heading halfway down the back straight in a moment, and T Blue has come back now to head. It Ain't Blue. Finn Jim remains on their tails at close third. VRB's All Round and Winnie the Water next up. Also midfield, Barstool Boy in company with Ballylusk. And then further back to find Busy Away. So as they now approach this next fence, they remain well stacked. T Blue rises with It Ain't Simple. They're 1 and 2 away from the fence. Finn Jim is in third. Winnie the What is 4. Fifth place is VRB's All Round, and next up then Ballylusk with Barstool Boy, and on their inside sits Busy Away, still held up Johnny the Jazz, Natural Energy, and also towards the rear of the field there is Sail Away Lad as they negotiate the next one. And no great change in the order, because T Blue and It Ain't Simple continue to alternate for the lead over the next fence. And at that one it was T Blue, the grey head of It Ain't Simple, continue to contest the lead. They're being hunted up at close third then. On the inside is Winnie the What and Finn Jim next up. Then VRB's All Round, Ballylusk. Barstool Boy continues to travel along in mid-pack in company with Busy Away. As they come to the fence, 6 from home. It Ain't Simple, T Blue come away from it, just ahead from Finn Jim, Winnie the What. The white-faced chestnut in 5th place is VRB's All Round, and on that one's outside, making some ground now is Natural Energy in the Donegal Doyle green with the orange spots. That one is then flanked on the outside by Ballylusk. Still midfield is Barstool Boy, and also held up is Busy Away. At the back of the field remains Sail Away Lad and Natural Energy, or Johnny the Jazz. So now they're turning on the run to the fence, which is 5 from the finish in this first division of the 4-year-old Geldings. It Ain't Simple. T Blue over the fence. T Blue comes away a length ahead from It Ain't Simple. Winnie the What is closed up in third. 4th position, VRB's All Round. On that one's outside, continuing to progress, is Natural Energy for Barry Stone. And then Ballylusk next up in midfield, followed by Barstool Boy. So now they're stretching on now. Good run before they'll be taking the next fence. And at the moment, there's little to choose once again, because It Ain't Simple has moved alongside to challenge for the lead with T Blue. They continue to force the tempo, followed in third place by Winnie the What, who's never left that inside position. Natural Energies right up In the firing line, a close fourth, and that one is followed by Ballylusk. Another one who's made ground from midfield is Busy Away, getting into it in the purple and yellow diamonds. So away from that fence, and it is Tayan Blue leading now. Coming up into second and third and beginning to look like a force are both Natural Energy and Ballylusk, who makes good headway for Rob James. Here they come to the third last, and out over this fence, Tayan Blue is tackled and headed by both Natural Energy and Ballylusk. These three go on from Busy Away, who's coming to fourth, and they've dropped the remainder over the second last. And the Monbeg goes to the front there. It's Natural Energy, Ballylusk. These two now go on from Tayan Blue, who's trying to box on with them. Staying on in fourth all the time is Busy Away, but as they head for home, a couple of furlongs to race, one to jump. It is Natural Energy. Ballylusk swings wide on the outside of Tayan Blue, and then Busy Away keeps galloping in behind. Here's the final fence, and it is Natural Energy coming to the last, up and over by 2 lengths, but hasn't put this to bed yet. He's still a couple in front. Tayan Blue tries hard, and then Ballylusk, but driven up to the line. It's a quick fire double in the day for Barry Stone, because across the line in front, Natural Energy. Tayan Blue, always prominent, ended up second. Third was Ballylusk, fair run in fourth from Busy Away.